My brothers and sisters, do not undermine your heritage, your culture for anything. I repeat, my brothers and sisters, do not undermine your heritage and culture for anything. Everybody has a separate agenda in this one Nigeria that we find ourselves. Now we heard that the owner of Ife and the Sultan of Sokoto will be made permanent members of the National Traditional Council. The owner of Ife, the Sultan of Sokoto, they are going to be made permanent members. Let me ask these questions. How many ethnicities make Nigeria? How many tribes make Nigeria? Now, if you are saying that the owner of Ife and the Sultan of Sokoto will be the permanent members of this national, traditional, whatever, what about the Oba of Benin? What about the Obi of Onitsha? What about the traditional rulers of other ethnicities? Now, this is a system whereby the Fulani wants to exalt itself above every other ethnicity in Nigeria. See, they use every means, every crooked means to find their way in dominating you. The Fulani have dominated the government. I tell you, they dominated one of the biggest regions in Nigeria, that is Northern region. Fulani, 14 million, dominating a people of over 80 million. Now, they have dominated our political space. Now, they want to dominate our culture. They had to bring the owner of Ife close. The Sultan of Sokoto and the owner of Ife, they are permanent members of the Traditional Rulers Councils of Nigeria. So, the Fulani, they put the Sultan of Sokoto and they put him side by side with the owner of Ife. What value does the Sultan of Sokoto bring to Nigeria? If you talk about the owner of Ife, the owner of Ife is bigger than the Sultanate. The Obi of Onitsha is bigger than the Sultanate. I will explain. Even the Oba of Benin. Okay, let's look at this. You know, Nigerians vehemently rejected that bill. The Yorubas rejected the bill. The Edo people rejected the bill. Niger Delta rejected the bill. Look at what Edo says. The royal stool of the Oba of Benin is older than that of the Sultan of Sokoto and the owner of Ife combined. The recent passage of that bill or attempt to impose a structure that elevates two specific traditional leaders over others threatens to sow division and resentment. Now, what are the Niger Delta people saying? Statement by the Niger Delta Congress condemning the bill designating the Sultan of Sokoto and owner of Ife as permanent chairman and co-chairman of the National Council of Traditional Rulers. Everybody is coming out to tell you that, man, whatever these guys are trying to do through the Senate, my brother, is uncalled for. I want to dwell on the owner of Ife and the Obi of Onitsha, how they are bigger, greater than that Sultanate. Because I suspect, I don't know how the Fulani would always creep into a national, whatever it is that we can do to make sure that the influence of the Fulani is severed. Because the Fulani are the ones drawing everybody back. This restructuring we are talking about, this regional system of governance we are talking about, this resource control we are talking about, the Fulani is vehemently opposing and against it. That is why you see they are desperate to grab power come 2027. The owner of the Yorubas are older than Nigeria. The Yorubas are older than Nigeria. The Hausas are older than Nigeria. The Fulanis are older than Nigeria. The Igbos are older than Nigeria. Some of the people contesting for presidency as we speak, they are older than Nigeria. The relevance of the Sultan of Sokoto is calculated like around Nigeria. If Nigeria ceases to exist today, you see that the relevance, the influence of the Sultan of Sokoto will be limited. Sultan of Sokoto also doubles as the Muslim head of all Muslims in Nigeria. In quote, reported, Muslim head of all Muslims in Nigeria. Because of one Nigeria, the Sultan of Sokoto has an influence in oil, has investment in so many things. Sultan of Sokoto, that seat is an excuse for the Fulani to dominate the Hausas, whether religiously, whether traditionally, whether academically, politically. That Sultanate seat is a symbol of dominance. Look at the Emir of Ilorin. That emirship seat is a symbol of dominance. The symbol of like inserting the presence of the Fulani amongst indigenous tribes. Now their land, the Fulani come from far. I don't care what Alimi did with the other guy. The land belongs to the Yorubas. So this game that they are playing, you undermine every other person. Which one is chairman and co-chairman? Which Sultan of Sokoto is chairman and co-chairman? What impact does the Sultan have on Nigerians? That region, that state the Sultan comes from, what impact does that state have on the country as a whole? Now, what they produce? They produce insecurity. And insecurity has taken a lot. Insecurity has killed a lot of our soldiers. We have spent trillions of naira to insecurity. Our economy has tanked. Our economy is in comatose because of mostly insecurity. Agriculture-wise, food scarcity, food insecurity, because of the Sultan of Sokoto and his people and what they represent. So how would you take such a guy and say he's a permanent chair of the National Council of Traditional Rulers? We reject it and we reject it. The Obi of Furniture, what he represents in Igbo land is different from what the Sultan of Sokoto represents. Let them man their own region, because the influence of the Obi of Furniture does not cut across the influence of Sultan of Sokoto, but it is the Sultan of Sokoto that wants to, from his region, to go and start controlling every other person from other region. You see the Sharia, when they bring their political jihad, they know how they work. 3 phases. That Sultanate seat is not just for traditional sake, both religious conquest and also political conquest. So this one that they are saying, when they pass that bill now, both the Sultan and the owner of Ife, they'll find a way. They'll find a way to be implementing some things. They'll use the Southwest to implement some of their aims. They told you, Fulani said that we have something in common with the Southwest. And that thing we have in common with the Southwest is religion. So they can easily flow with the Southwest, because Southwest is a powerhouse in southern Nigeria, so as to do whatever they want to do. Since the Yorubas have not been able to push them out of Ilorin, they believe they can do. So we reject it. Let me read this from this. I don't know if you talk about ethnicities. We have thousands of ethnicities. Thousands. Okay? This is an advice to the owner of Ife. Although most people have rejected, Edo State don't reject, Niger Delta or Anise have rejected. Whatever things they are doing, it is being rejected. People at the house, we are rejecting. The owner of Ife should reject the Senate bill elevating him as national co-chairman of the Traditional Rulers Council. Instead, he should establish the Global Organization of Isheshe Communities Council and make himself the permanent chairman. Your identity is your ethnicity or your tribe, first than any other thing. Nigeria is not part of that. You are a Yoruba person, you are an Igbo person. Anything bringing Nigeria, that is a secondary, it's not a primary thing. The people of the Sultan banned Isheshe practice, which the owner of Ife represented. The Awujale of Ijebu, you saw how they buried him. It is the people of the Sultan and what the Sultan represents that were fighting against him. He must be buried in a Muslim way. They had to boo them. Is it disgrace, or Yorubas were fighting Yorubas because of what the Sultan of Sokoto represents? What is the benefit? What are we benefiting from this Sultan? Tell me one thing. Tell me one thing. What are we benefiting? Look at the base of the Sultan in northern Nigeria. How has the Sultan contributed immensely to the economy of Sokoto State, not to talk of Katsina State, the northeast, the north central, and the northwest? What has been the impact? Instead, what the Sultan and the people he represents or he belongs to have cost the region. They are even dragging us back. The Obi of Onitsha is much more bigger than the Sultan of Sokoto in their respect, because the Igbos existed before Nigeria. The Sultan has its relevance. The Sultan became relevant in Nigeria because of Nigeria as the creation of a state. The Oba of Benin had been existing before whoever they call the Sultan of Sokoto. The Oni of Ife had been existing before whoever they call the Sultan of Sokoto. So why would you put the Oni of Ife as even a co-chairman? See, this F13 by all these guys, they think they are something, or they are trying to undermine you. They are trying to. That is why all of a sudden, they are the ones that are giving the northern people mind that we are born to rule, that they not to remember. They are the ones, the Fulani. Look at northern Nigeria today. The people that have dominated the political space, left, right, center, look at them. They are the Fulani. Who is Atiku? Who is Erufai and co? Who is Kwankwaso and co? They do as if they are innocent. They don't know what they are doing, while they really know what they are doing. I've said it that if Tinubu does not restructure this country, if they laid hold on power, now that's how you go know. See, when people say all these things, we think it's child's play. We are saying all these things. People think we are playing. We don't know what we are doing. Imagine a Senate, a Nigerian Senate will bring a bill. Well, I don't blame the leaders we have today, most especially. You see, the backlash is coming from the people, not the senators. The senators that are representing us there, they are not the ones they are not the ones attacking this bill. It is the people, the Ohanese, the Niger Delta Forum, and the Afenifere, they are the ones attacking this bill. If you are leaving it for these Efulefu leaders that are, I don't know what they are doing there. They claim that they are representing who, I don't know who they are representing. If you leave it for them, they'll just sell Nigeria. Their own is when they collect money for pocket. I told you one of the persons representing my state at the House of Rep, because of politics, he go change to Muslim. Islam that is not synonymous with anything. I tell you, because of politics. Now when he want to enter politics, the relevance. Now, an Igbo man can do. Many Igbos that are joining Islam, most of them, not all of them, most of them do that because of something they're going to get. And those custodians of that religion would want to use something to bait you to join. So by all means, the Fulani wants to dominate. Why not the owner of Ife as chairman, then the Sultan of Sokoto as vice chairman? Why? Everything you put on your everything you put the Sultan of Sokoto, as if the Sultan of Sokoto is greater than the owner of Ife. Who gave the Sultan of Sokoto relevance above every other traditional ruler in Nigeria? Who gave him that F13? Who gave the Sultan of Sokoto? Even if Nigeria would divide today, that Sultan, if the Hausas revolt, my brother, if the Hausas change it for the Sultan of Sokoto, I don't think he will be there to start claiming all these things. It is because of one Nigeria. One Nigeria now cause all these things. Look at our resources being used to waste. The last time a lawmaker said that Boko Haram ambushed Nigerian army, seized weapons, took weapons, almost getting into trillion of naira. We know they talk about that. Now the people of the Sultan, now them they run all this package. So what is expected? So we are not going to sleep at this point in time. This one we are moving toward restructuring. They bring nobody. See, we are seeing what is going to happen in the future. That is why we are raising the alarm. I'm telling you, I'm advising my Igbo brothers, if you know what you need to do, go and get a safe place for yourself in your own father's land, whereby you know that it is your father's property, so that anything that happens, peradventure, anything that happens, you can be able to find a place you can safely call your place without anybody coming to say, get out. Do a little kind of investment, agriculture and whatsoever, that can help you to survive. Because Nigeria is getting to a point whereby the influence of the Fulani must be stopped at every angle, at every level. Everywhere you see they fight, anywhere they come, we are going to start like resisting them. I don't want to read all these things here about the Yoruba. The Yoruba is a global system. You don't limit people's ethnicities just to Nigeria. Nigeria is a mere according to Awolowo, he talks in a geographical expression. Somebody says a contraption. The other person says it's a zoo. You are limiting the Yorubas under the guidance of who? The Sultan. Where did the Sultan of Sokoto come from? Where did he come from? It's because of you have been having northern influence. Northern people don't they make mouth. You see why I'm supporting Tinubu? It's because of this mouth when northern people they need. You need to sit down and ask yourself this question. In this Nigeria what we do today, before the coup, the 1966 coup or whatever it is that led to the civil war, before what the coup, what was the influence of the Sultan in this southeast region? What was the relevance of the Sultan in the southeast region or the western region? What was the relevance of the Sultan in Yoruba land and in the southeast? What was the relevance? Because we came together, you are trying to lord one person over other people. Do you know who the Oba of Benin is? Do you know how many centuries? Do you know what happened in the southeastern part of Nigeria with autonomous communities resisting colonialism? They fought a long war to the extent that, man, this guy said these people seem to be a hard nut to crack. Do you know the sacrifices each region has made, each tribe has made to keep themselves together? It is only the Fulani, Uthman and Fodi and Co. that want to enter into people's land and start killing and start taking over their lands. We are doing it silently through this traditional thing. Let's enter now and let's introduce it. Sultan of Sokoto will be chairman. The co-chairman will be the Oni of Ife. So when you make it a bill and it is passed into law, I trust the Tinubu, you don't go sign that one. When you make it a bill and it is passed into law, then you start pushing all sort of agendas from politically. They are trying to push an agenda. Fulani want to take over. Insecurity wise, they don't catch them. Say usually if they want stand up to any government, they go the sponsor insecurity. Everybody don't wise. Politically now they believe they've captured northern Nigeria. Now middle belts, north central, they're having a rethink on joining which Arewa. They say Arewa is a Fulani language. I don't know. So they have found a way. When it comes to positions in Nigeria, the Fulani are almost there. They select themselves. They shuffle themselves out of the Hausas and northern Nigeria, and they highly place themselves in the army. For you to become a major general, do you know what it is? Do you know the sabotage? Do you know when they call something matrix. Matrix. It's just like you build a cage for the chicken. The chicken can only wander throughout that cage. The chicken cannot tell you that he wants to come out of captivity. You will not ask the chicken, according to this cage, according to this bill or constitution, according to the rules guiding the army, you are not supposed to be free. That is what the Fulani does. When they lay hold of a system, they try to put laws, regulations that will stop you from thinking of like I don't know, freedom. They will make sure that freedom is impossible. For instance, now we have Sharia in the constitution. When you speak up against Sharia, they'll tell you the constitution. They want to review the constitution. They want to work on the constitution. They'll say no. Constitution now is man-made. It is due for upgrade. It is due for reviewing. They will say no. So they create a system whereby you are caged. Look at Emir of Fulani. They use religion. This Emir, even Yorubas are pledging to the Fulani Caliphate. Yorubas, as in Yorubas are pledging to the Fulani Caliphate. It tells you a lot. So we know their system. If they pass this one now, they'll now start putting laws to guide themselves. The son of Sokoto might say Sharia this, Sharia that. Sharia, they'll be using that style to enter Una. They've used that enter Southeast through the National Traditional Rulers Council. They'll say it is in Enugu State now. We want to build a center for religious whatever. And in that center, they will have a department for Sharia. They don't use the national level, enter your state. That department for Sharia, they will focus on that department of Sharia. They don't introduce Sharia in every region. Small. They will introduce Sharia left, right, center. Through the National Council, we are having to build a center for religious tolerance, blah, 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 traditional whatever. From there, you see, they introduce themselves. What is the culture of the Sultan? Sultan doubles as Muslim head. Is a traditional ruler, one of the most respected. You know, when we were young, we were so naive until our eyes began to open to see these people for who they are. We are so naive that, man, we are deceived a lot. We never knew. We were respecting the Sultan until we did our research and we are reading a lot of things. And we understood that this is a systematic invasion. You know, all these globalists, you know, if the Igbo want to capture you, if we have poison in this, if this is poison, and the poison that's supposed to kill you should be filled in this container, they will just be carrying it little by little, be putting in your food drop by drop. If it take 10 years, so that you will not notice. That is how Oyibo entered Africa and colonized everybody. That is what the Fulani they are doing, little by little, harmless. When they do things, it looks harmless. The same way, the same way they have been conquering places, collapsing civilizations and installing their own, the same way they have been doing it, they have been consistent. They have never ever changed. They have been consistent in doing what they are doing. So now, Nigerians are rejecting, whatever it is, nobody recognizes any Sultan of Sokoto as chairman of National Traditional Council. Whatever it is, nobody. It's just like giving the person president and vice president when it comes to traditional matters. Religious matters now you be head of Muslims in all Nigeria. Why not say religion, then you put the Khan chairman as the head, then how does it make sense? So we are here today to say that we are not part and parcel of whatever that is being run there. We know that it's another systematic Fulani dominance. Fulani, these guys, I respect them. Let me not lie for you. I respect these guys. These guys, may God help Nigeria from the hands of the Fulani. May God in heaven